DNA packaging in eukaryotic cell or in eukaryotes. So yesterday we have discussed regarding packaging of DNA in the prokaryotes. Now today we are going to discuss this DNA packaging in the eukaryotes. So generally in case of eukaryotic cell, they are having well organized nucleus. They are having well organized nucleus. That means the nucleus having such a type of nuclear membrane. Nucleolus it is there. And chromosomes in the form of chromatin network like. So this nucleus, it is called as a well organized nucleus because it having nuclear membrane, it having such a type of nucleolus, and it having this type of this chromatin, chromosome in the form of chromatin material or chromatin network. Remember this. Then generally in the chromosomes, this DNA is associated with the proteins. Which protein? Histone as well as non-histone protein. So such a type DNA in the chromosome associate this DNA associated with the histone as well as non-histone protein. It was reported by scientists this R. Kornberg in 1974. Remember this. The organization of DNA in case of eukaryote, it becomes much complex in case of eukaryotes. Remember this. Because the length of the DNA molecule, it is around 2.2 meter. And the size of nucleus, nucleus is very small. Having size 10 raised to minus 6 meter. This is the size of nucleus. And in that small size of nucleus, this long thread of DNA should be organized. That's why the organization it becomes more complex in case of these eukaryotes. Remember this. So generally those protein like histone protein it is positively charged. Now why generally charge on the protein? It is determined by the charges present on the amino acid residue chain, side chain. Those side chain, amino acid residue side chain, they are present in the protein. Charges on such a type of amino acid residue side chain gives the charge to the protein molecule. Remember this. So in case of the histone protein, generally that histone protein, it is made up of this or it is rich in the which amino acid residue? Lysine and arginine amino acid residue. So histone protein, it is rich in which amino acid residue? Lysine and arginine type of amino acid residue. And both these amino acid residues in their side chain they are having positive charge. That's why histone protein. So this histone protein it having positive charge. Remember this. Then these histone organizations themselves, generally these histone organize themselves to make a unit of 8 molecules. So how the histone molecule or histone is organized in the cell or in the nucleus? It is organized by using these 8 molecules, and these 8 molecules of histone they together forming such a type of octamer of the histone. In this way histone protein it is organized in this nucleus. Remember this, or present in the nucleus in the form of 8 molecules, and these 8 molecules together called as a histone octamer or octamer of histone. Now you know that this DNA molecule or DNA helix, it having which charge? It is negatively charged. And histone molecule it having positive charge. That's why the negatively charged DNA helix, it mainly wound around the positively charged histone. Negatively charged this DNA helix, it get wound around the positively charged It is histone octamer, and it forming a structure. So in this way, it forming structure, and that structure it is known as a nucleosome. So this is the entire nucleosome. That means negatively charged DNA molecule, it wrapped around the positively charged this histone octamer, forming a structure, and that structure it is known as a nucleosome. They may ask, write short note on the nucleosome. Remember this, or draw a neat and well labeled diagram showing the is a nucleosome. Now this nucleosome core, it is made up of, there is two molecules of each of four types of histone. That means in that nucleosome core it having two molecules of each of the four types of histone. Which four types of histone? Like H2A, it is one type of histone. H2B, it is one type of histone. H3 and H4. So these four types of histone, and each of these type having how many molecules? Two molecules. That means two molecules of H2A, two molecules of H2B, two molecules of H3, and two molecules of H4. In this way, this nuclear core of this histone protein it is formed. Remember this. Then the H1 histone protein. Can you see this protein? This is the H1 histone protein. This is H1 histone protein, and this type of histone protein it mainly binds the DNA thread. So it binds the DNA thread where DNA enter in the nucleosome and leaves the nucleosome. So here DNA thread suppose enter in this region and it leaves in this region from the nucleosome, and this type of histone it mainly it is called as a H1 type of histone. So what is the role of that H1 histone? H1 histone protein binds the DNA thread where it enters in the nucleosome and where the DNA thread leaves this nucleosome. Remember this. Now generally one nucleosome contains approximately how many these nucleotide base pair? In this one nucleosome it contains approximately 200 nucleotide base pairs. Remember this. And out of that 200 nucleotide base pair, this DNA which wrap around the histone, it contains near about 146 base pair long segment of DNA. It remain present in the each molecule of nucleus. So 146 nucleotide base pair or 146 base pair long segment of DNA remain present in the each of the nucleosome. So this nucleosome or this DNA having length around 146 base pair, it remain present in the each nucleosome. Many nucleosomes they are there in the base chromatin network. Remember this. Then nucleosomes are repeated units of this chromatin. See this chromatin. So you can see the chromatin, and in this chromatin these are the nucleosomes. So nucleosomes they are the repeating units of this chromatin. So this chromatin shows repeated units of the nucleosome. So this type of repeated units, nucleosome they are the repeated units of such a type of chromatin, and this with generally this type of nucleosome they are the thread like stain bodies present in the nucleus. They are the thread like stain bodies present in the nucleus. So these looks like beads on the string. These looks like beads on the string. Beads म्हणजे काय? मनी आणि string म्हणजे दोरा. म्हणजे दोरा आणि मनी थोडक्यात. म्हणजे so in this case beads they are nothing but the nucleosome. That means the histone protein of nucleosome, and string it is nothing but the DNA thread. So DNA thread here becomes string, and this histone protein generally it forming the beads. Remember this. So in this way this looks like beads on the string when observed under electron microscope. So if you observe such a type of structure under electron microscope, it shows this structure like beads on the string. So this is the magnified structure showing the beads on the octamer of histone, and around that octamer see the stringed one. That means DNA thread is mainly wound around such a type of octamer of histone. So DNA helix having near about 200 base pairs, and such a type of DNA helix it mainly wraps around the octamer of histone and it takes around 1 3/4 turn. So DNA having approximately these 200 base pairs, and this type of DNA having 200 base pair, it wrapped around the octamer of histone and take how many turns? 1 3/4 turn. And 6 such a type of nucleosome. Now this is one nucleosome. This is another. So likewise 6 such a type of nucleosome, they mainly get coiled and then they forming a structure. That structure it is known as solenoid. I have not drawn the diagram of solenoid. So how you can draw the diagram? That means 6 such a type of nucleosome, they get coiled and forming the structure. That structure it is known as solenoid structure, and see the diameter of that solenoid structure, it is 30 nanometer or 300 angstrom. Remember this. So DNA helix having diameter 2 nanometer. Now see this solenoid, it becomes 30 nanometer or 300 angstrom in the diameter in the solenoid structure. So just now we have learned regarding the solenoid structure. So 6 mass nucleosome get coiled and then form solenoid that looks like a telephone wire. It looks like telephone wire. So the chromatin is packed to form such a type of solenoid structure having diameter around 30 nanometer or 300 angstrom. Now this solenoid structure, it gets further coiled and that means it gets further super coiled, or coiled and super coiled tends to form looped structure, and such a type of looped structure it is known as chromatin fiber. Now further this chromatin fiber coils and condense at the time of metaphase. That means this chromatin fiber or chromatin structure further it mainly get condensed and coils during the time of metaphase. So during metaphase, maximum condensation of chromosome found during the time of metaphase. So you can count the total number of chromosome in the nucleus only during the time of metaphase of the cell division, because chromosome they are very short and very thick, showing maximum coiling and condensation at the time of metaphase. Remember this. The packaging of chromatin at higher level, it needs certain these non-histone chromosomal proteins. Some additional proteins they are required for packaging of chromosome at higher level. And these types of proteins they are called as a non-histone chromosomal proteins, NHC. And these are the additional sets of proteins that help in packaging of the chromatin at higher level. Remember this. There are 2 different types of chromatin. One it is called as a heterochromatin and other it is called as a euchromatin. Remember this. Now what is meant by heterochromatin? So in case of eukaryotic cell, some segments of the chromonema or chromosome, some regions of chromonema or chromosomes, during interphase and early prophase, during which phase? Interphase and early prophase, they remain in the condensed state. See this condensed state. So some regions of chromonema or chromosome in the early days of prophase and interphase, they remain in the condensed state. And this constitute or this region, it is known as heterochromatin. Remember this. And this generally this region it is found in the near the centromere as well as at the telomere region. as well as also it is found in between the chromosome or in the intercalated region. So this region it is found mostly in the centromere region as well as telomere region and intercalated region of chromosome. So that region which is condensed region, it is known as heterochromatin. Remember. So genetically this type of region it is inactive. Genetically this region it is inactive and it stains generally strongly. This region it mainly strongly stained. That means that's why this region, as it is strongly stained, it appears dark, and that type of region it is known as heterochromatin. So this heterochromatin contain near about 2 to 3 times more DNA than the euchromatin region. 2 to 3 times more DNA, because highly condensed region, that's why it contains 2 to 3 times more rich in the DNA than this euchromatin. So second type of chromatin it is known as euchromatin. So the region of chromoneme or chromosome which are in the non-condensed state. See, this is the condensed state and this is the non-condensed state. So generally the region of chromoneme or chromosome which are in the non-condensed state, and that type of region it is known as euchromatin. So this euchromatin region it stain light. It stain light, remember this. And this type of lightly stained and loosely arranged or this non-condensed region it is known as this euchromatin. And this type of euchromatin genetically it is more active or it is much active and it is fast replicating region. So this region of DNA it is fast replicating region. Remember this. So euchromatin it is transcriptionally active. That means during protein synthesis when mRNA is formed, at that process it is called as a transcription. So this region it takes part in the formation of mRNA. That means this euchromatin it is transcriptionally active, while the heterochromatin, this region do not take part in the formation of mRNA. That means it is transcriptionally, this region it is transcriptionally it is inactive.